Joining me today is New Hampshire Representative Steve Smith. So Steve, this time of season, it's especially now past Labor Day until I guess January or February.
Do you hear circus music playing in the background?
That's right. You know, we've got a lot of people coming to New Hampshire, and you know, from your vantage point, are people paying enough attention to this part, your district and the adjacent areas, Claremont, Newport? Are we getting candidates coming through here?
Oh yeah, candidates have been coming through. So are people paying enough attention at this stage? Absolutely, they're not paying very much attention, and that's normal. And if you look at polling data from the last few cycles, I think that reflects that. But the one benefit of there being just so darn many of these guys is that they're actually coming here, because we're kind of off the beaten path sometimes because of our low population density. But yeah, we've had Chris Christie here a couple of times. We have had, way earlier in the year, believe it or not, Rick Perry was here 3 times in the very beginning of the year. We have had Governor Walker, Governor Pataki. I'm going to leave somebody out and get an angry phone call after this.
Well, we've had a lot of candidates coming through the area.
Yeah. It's good to talk to them.
And you're with Sullivan County and the Republican Party.
Yes, I'm the chairman of the Sullivan County Republican Committee.
Right, I wanted to make sure I was correct on that. You're inviting everybody here.
Absolutely. I'm a fierce partisan for our county.
And I think that's good for everybody. Just to come, it's good for the citizens. It's good for the candidates.
Yes, because they are frequently so different in person than they are on camera, and it can cut either way. I don't want to pick on any of these guys, but let's take a classic case that's no longer relevant. President George W. Bush. Now, when he was in a room and unscripted, he was brilliant. But you know, the public didn't get to see that because, again, they're unscripted and it's just off the cuff in the room. And then you give the former president a prepared speech and it looks like he's taking an eye test. I mean, it was awful. And you're seeing that flip back and forth some of these ways. Some of the candidates are very good on camera, but it's a little awkward and stilted in person, and it's a lot of fun for me to watch.
Are we seeing retail politics in Sullivan County?
Yeah, we're getting that. I've had campaigns call me and say, we want to put our guy in a room. Can you get us a room? Where do we go? It's really nice having that hand-in-hand collaboration. In past cycles, it's kind of been a little top-down. Our guys coming here, going there, fill the room. Like, wow, really? That's not how it works.
I will say this, you know, if you think about New Hampshire and this many on the Republican side, and the Democratic sides may be growing
They're starting
even more.
To get there, yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But on the Republican side, with that many candidates, you know, 400, 500, 600 votes could make a difference for somebody finishing 4th or 5th or 6th.
Yes. And them showing up matters, because most voters are not going to get 12 candidates' issues and graph it out and decide, or based on resume. Great story. Years ago, I was working for Fred Thompson. I know. But we were in Bradford, New Hampshire, and I was talking to a guy at a garage, and he goes, "Oh, I can't support Fred. He never comes here." And, you know, I'm thinking, dude, nobody comes here. So, what are you going to do? But that was an important lesson. Like you just said, 400 or 500 votes could matter. If they go there, they might get them just because they went.
So let me ask this. You have all the presidential candidates, and you probably are going to get a chance to touch base with them all. One of them may be the next president of the United States. Certainly. So what one piece of advice that would help Sullivan County would you give to the next president of the United States?
The next president of the United States. Invest in solutions, not ideas. I can phrase that better. Solyndra, that solar power company, we sunk a bunch of money into that and it failed. Okay, I think there's one thing that we can agree on that the federal government is really good at: spending tons of money. What they should have done was put a contract out for, I don't know, 1 million solar panels and install them on federal facilities all over the country. Now that would have done 2 things. It would have reduced their ongoing energy bill obligation, and it would have created a market. I'm not going to put solar panels on my house because I won't live long enough for the savings to work out. But if they would just spend my money on a solution, buy a whole bunch of solar panels, it creates a market, you have economy of scale, mass production, cost goes down, maybe you and I can buy them and have it make economic sense. So I would advise the president to focus on practical solutions, not political ideas.
Well, it's a great way to end our conversation. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of Capital Connections, your weekly access to politics and policy along the I-89 and I-91 corridors and how it impacts our region. If you have a comment or an idea for a future show, please email me. And please join us again at this same time next week for another edition of Capital Connections.